Hello, everyone. Welcome to the program. This is Politics Today, live on Channels Television. I'm Sean Wakimale in Abuja. First, before we get into some of our conversations for tonight, let's tell you that the All Progressives Congress, APC, Presidential Campaign Council, the PCC, has said there was no meeting between the President-elect Bola Tinubu and the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Olukayode Ariwoola. In a statement, the APC PCC Director of Media and Publicity, Bayo Onanuga, described as fake, misleading and malicious a media report, not from channels, but from some other media organization that Ariwoola disguised to meet with Bola Tinubu. Meanwhile, the CJN, in a video made available to our correspondent, was seen leaving his office earlier today and heading for the mosque. Let me allow you to watch a bit of that clip as the CJN, Justice Kayode Ariwoola, is seen working out of the Supreme Court complex and heading towards the mosque. There he is. All right, then. So much to talk about tonight on this program. First, we'll be touching base with Senator Adeleke, the governor of Osun State. We're getting some reaction on the appeal court's judgment of today, and of course, the situation in Osun State. But also, we'll be hearing on the APGA leadership tussle. What is really happening? Because we understand that both sides seem to be having a different interpretation of what the court said. Also, we will be hearing from Ms. Aishatu Ahmed Binani, the APC governorship candidate in Adamawa State. Such a packed program tonight, everyone. Stay with me with these almost 2 hours of the show as we bring you up to speed with what is happening across the land. First and foremost, let's check out what is happening on Political Roundup. Kela is here.
Thank you, Seun. Good evening. I am Kayla Megwa, and these are your Political Roundup stories for today. The Court of Appeal has granted permission to the Labour Party's presidential candidate, Peter Obi, to serve his petition challenging the February 25th presidential election on Bola Tinubu of the All Progressives Congress, APC. Mr. Obi is challenging the victory of Tinubu, who was declared the president-elect by the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. The LP Flag Bearers Council, Ikechukwu Ezechukwu SAN, in an ex-party application, asked the appellate court to grant Obi and the Labour Party leave to serve the petition on Tinubu and the vice president-elect, Kashim Shettima, through substituted means. A former secretary to the government of the Federation and former Senate President, Senator Pius Ayim, has described the suspension of him and some others by the People's Democratic Party as disappointing. He went further to say that the action of the PDP leadership smacks of arrogance, and instead of the NWC showing remorse and being sober for leading the party to such a colossal loss in the 2023 general elections and putting up a bold face, instead of showing remorse and being sober for leading the party to such a colossal loss in the 2023 general elections, thereby dashing the hopes and expectations of party members and indeed Nigerians. He pointed out that it is difficult to explain why the NWC is in a hurry to suspend leaders of the party without recourse to fair hearing, without which their action is null and void. Zamfara State Governor Bello Matawalle has conceded defeat in the March 18 governorship election and is seeking forgiveness from the people of the state. The governor has asked the citizens to pray and support the incoming administration of Dr. Dauda Lawal to succeed and forge the state ahead. The acceptance by Governor Matawalle is coming 4 days after the declaration of election results by the returning officer of the Zamfara State governorship election, Professor Kashim Shehu of the Federal University, Birnin Kebbi. In an audio message to the people of the state, as confirmed by the Chief Press Secretary to the Governor, Jamilu Magaji, Mr. Matawalle says he did his best in ensuring lasting peace in the state and will continue until the end of his tenure. The governorship candidate of the Accord Party in the just concluded governorship election in Rivers State, Mr. Dumo Lulu Briggs, has rejected the governorship election results declared by the Independent National Electoral Commission. Mr. Briggs addressed a press conference in Port Harcourt where he criticized INEC for the irregularities that greeted the election exercise.
Instead of ballot papers, they were served with various degrees of violence that resulted in deaths, bodily harm, and destruction of properties.
The People's Democratic Party and the All Progressives Congress in Benue State are in a war of words over the outcome of the just concluded governorship election, in which Reverend Father Hyacinth Aliar emerged as the winner. The acting state chairman of the PDP, Mr. Isaac Mfo, accused the APC of using security agencies to manipulate the election. The PDP says it has resolved to challenge the results before the tribunal. Also, the People's Democratic Party in Ebonyi State has rejected the March 18 governorship results in the state. The PDP acting chairman in the state, Mr. Ifeanyi Nworie, at a press conference in Adeleke, the state capital, says the opposition party has vowed to reclaim the PDP's stolen mandate given to it by a majority of Ebonyi electorate during the governorship election of March 18th. And in Enugu, the candidate of the All Progressives Grand Alliance, APGA, in the governorship election, Mr. Frank Wike Jr., has described the election in the state as a complete sham and an assault on democracy. Mr. Wike says the election was marred by violence, intimidation, and electoral malpractices aided by INEC officials and some compromised security agencies. On the review of the Nkanu East local government area results that saw the emergence of the candidate of the PDP, Mr. Peter Mba, he stated that failure to cancel it is a clear violation of the guidelines set by the electoral umpire.
It is unfortunate that resolute actions were not taken to avert the threats we reported. Again, we saw that the problem is not democracy itself. The problem is the people.
The governorship candidate of the People's Democratic Party in Niger State in a just concluded governorship election, Mr. Liman Kantigi, says he will not challenge the results in court. Addressing journalists in Mina, the state capital, Mr. Kantigi says he has accepted the outcome of the election in good faith. According to him, the outcome of the election will not dampen his morale in politics, as he will continue to struggle for the emancipation of the poor people, especially in rural areas who are yearning for good leadership and development. The senior special assistant to the Adamawa State Governor Umar Fintiri on Public Affairs, Mr. Sunday Wugira, has called for the arrest and prosecution of the Adamawa State Residential Electoral Commissioner, Mr. Hudu Ari. Mr. Wugira made the call while addressing journalists in Yola, the Adamawa State capital. According to him, the actions of the resident electoral commissioner and his colleagues were responsible for heating up the polity, thereby making several people sustain injuries and incur losses. The governor-elect of Kano State, Mr. Abba Yusuf, has vowed to revive the Kwankwasia free education. In a statement released by his spokesperson, Sanusi Dawakin Tofa, the governor-elect emphasized the urgent need to address the fundamental responsibilities of a responsive government, such as the provision of potable water, basic education, and quality health care. Mr. Yusuf of the NNPP defeated his closest rival of the ruling All Progressives Congress in an election where he garnered over 1 million votes. As reactions continue to trail the fallout of the recently concluded governorship and state house of assembly elections in Rivers State, the South-South Youth Initiative has called for the cancellation of the results and a probe of the whole process. At a press briefing in Port Harcourt, the Rivers State capital, the president of the group, Mr. Xavier Oscar, wants the electoral body to cancel the election and conduct a fresh poll, as the March 18 election was characterized by violence and irregularities. Those are the political roundup stories for today. It's back to you, Sheung.
Thank you, everyone, for staying with us. Let's get to Osun State, where, first and foremost, let's tell you what happened at the appeal court today. The Court of Appeal sitting in Abuja has set aside the decision of the Osun State Governorship Tribunal and has upheld the election of Senator Adeleke as the duly elected governor of the state. Following the governorship polls in the state, and the election petition tribunal had sacked Senator Adeleke from office, saying that the PDP candidate did not score a majority of lawful votes during the July 16 governorship polls. However, in a unanimous judgment by a three-man panel led by Justice Muhammad Shuaibu, the Court of Appeal quashed the tribunal's judgment and gave its verdict to uphold Adeleke as the rightful elected governor of Osun State.
Judgment has been delivered in respect of all the appeals. Before this Court of Appeal this afternoon, they allowed all the appeals filed by the governor-elect Senator Adeleke. He won his appeal. The PDP as a political party won his appeal. INEC as an appellant before this Court of Appeal won the appeal. So the totality of the appeal presented before the Court of Appeal herein have succeeded, and the court has affirmed that Senator Adamawa Adeleke remains the governor of Osun State.
There are so many issues involved in this appeal. Some of the issues we won, a bit more of the issues we lost. Overall, we lost the appeal. But it's so interesting that we believe that as soon as we collect the various judgments, which are all more or less the same, by Monday we would study the judgment and then make our decision. But it's most likely, because of the very interesting nature of the decisions made, that the matter will not end here.
So let's head to Oshogbo in Osun State, where Senator Adamawa Adeleke, the governor of Osun State, joins us virtually live. It's good to see you. Ramadan Kareem to you. Governor Adeleke, thank you so much indeed. Congratulations on your victory today at the appeal court. And let me start by asking you, how does the appeal court verdict come to you?
Well, you see, I just have to thank God, because I believe that God has really vindicated me by the July 16 election. That my people in Osun State, they voted for me massively. And of course, I told the world that the lower court, the tribunal, the lower court, did what they call miscarriage of justice. And now, at the appeal, they have cleared everything, and of course, affirmed me as the authentic governor, of Osun State. And the Osun people, I have to thank them for their massive support. I dedicate this victory to God and to the Osun people.
All right. Let me, you lost one, you've won one. Same with the APC and former Governor Boyega Oyetola. He won one and he's lost in this one. But from what the lawyers are saying, it doesn't look like this is going to be the end of the road. This can also still go to the Supreme Court. But what would you have to say to the opposing side?
Well, the democracy is at play here. If they feel like they should go to Supreme Court, so be it. But I just believe that we should just move forward and make sure that Osun, grow from strength to strength. But if they feel like they should go to Supreme Court, we shall meet, at the Supreme Court.
You seem to be very confident, Governor Adeleke. What gives you that confidence?
What gives me that confidence? Because I know that my people love me, and I love my people in Osun State. And they voted for me massively. And the appeal court have already vindicated the whole thing, that the primary source of all the so-called overvoted and everything, there was no overvoting. They did not use the primary source from the beaver. And they are using now that the primary source of the election and everything is from the beaver. So, I'm so confident that my people love me. And of course, I'm sure, Sheung, that we did after my July 16 election, the February 22 election has confirmed that I'm the authentic winner of July 16 election. Our party, PDP, we won all these, the Senate that we have there, 300. The 9 representatives that we have in Osun State, we won all. And of course, just concluded House of Assembly last weekend, that is March 18, and then just concluded, we won everything. Apart from the one that is, question mark, 25 up to 26. So that has confirmed everything. So that is why I'm so confident that my people are with me, and they are ready to be with me all the way.
Do you have any fears whatsoever? If this goes to the Supreme Court, how much of a belief do you have in the court system?
Well, what I believe is that the appeal court is a higher court. And the judgment, if you go and read that judgment, is a watertight judgment. that any reasonable, judge will go otherwise. It's a very watertight, judgment. So that is why I'm so confident that, even if they go to Supreme Court, they will still favor me by the special grace of God.
I say that there was some jubilation in your camp today. The judgment of the appeal court was greeted by jubilation within and around you, even the courtroom today. And some of your aides and some of your fans were saying, even if the election were to be reconducted again today in Osun State, that you are so popular that you will win. And those of the opposing side said it won't happen, that they can win, they have more popularity on the ground. But you've said your people love you. Beyond the love, the issue of capacity comes to play. What kind of assurance are you getting from the people of Osun State that Adeleke is the man that actually can govern the people of Osun State at this period?
Well, I've demonstrated it during the 100 days. You come over, I'm inviting you, Sheung. For the 100 days, I've demonstrated it. In 100 days, what they could not do in 4 years or even 12 years, I've done it. I've done it, for my people within that 100 days. Even most of the opposite side, APC, they commended me. They said, what you cannot do, I came in, I did it in 100 days. Are you going to talk about free, healthcare? Are you going to talk about the roads? Are you going to talk about the free Medicare or water, supply everywhere in the state? I've taught the people. I'm a grassroots to the core. Come and see street credibility. I cannot even go out there, go into my office. People will troop out. Since the day I won, every day that I go into my office, the governor's office, people will troop out. They'll be calling me Imole. Imole has come to stay here. And when light comes, darkness vanishes.
Yeah. What assurance can you give the people of Osun State that you will not disappoint them? They've seen a lot of politicians, they've heard a lot of politicians, but in the lives of the people of Nigeria, there's been a lot of disappointment. They've heard sweet talk all over there. But what assurance can you give the people of Osun State that you, Senator Adeleke, will not disappoint them?
Well, sure, like I said before, I told you, you are familiar with Osun State. You are a journalist. Calm down or send your correspondent. Let them do opinion sample. Fact check. I introduced fact check. Everybody is using now. They are not paying me. I introduced fact check. That everything you say, you go and fact check it. Come over to Osun State. Ask your correspondent. Let them go and interview people. And people are happy. And when my people are happy, I'm happy too. So that's why I'm, saying that I'm so confident that my people are with me. I'm so relaxed with them. I'm so relaxed with them. Right. So that's why I'm saying that for what I've done in 100 days, they ain't seen nothing yet. I see how some goodies for my people. Like I always told you that it will be coming one by one, bagam. I pay salaries. Even the 2015 salary, 2015 system they did not pay. I've paid it. Contributory pensioners who have been dying, I paid them. And I've not owed any money. And I've not borrowed any money. They are wondering, where is Governor Adeleke? Where does he get this money? I block all the leakages. No more corruption. And I have my brain. I'm using it. I like people to underrate me. Now, everybody's surprised now. And we have a lot in stock for my people in Osun State. Osun State, here I come again. You'll be happy all the way.
All right. On a final note, just before I allow you, because I know I took you out of your usual Ramadan activities in the evening, and I promise I won't be on you for too long. But what lesson do you think this process has taught you as a person and as a leader in your state? Is there any fundamental lesson this process has taught you?
It has taught me a lesson that which I knew a long time ago. And listen, if you're going to be a leader, you have to have a fear of God. And you have to make sure the dividend of democracy. I told myself, I always have that believe that any opportunity that I get to serve my people, I must make my people happy. I must make sure that the dividend of democracy is at play here. And they are seeing it. They are used to people, talk. But me, I don't talk. I'm action governor. When I say something, everything that I spoke about, all the promises already in that 100 are kept. So I don't believe in talking. Action. You go over, like I said, tell your people, or you come over yourself and look at all the things that we have done in Osun State. And I promise my people that I will never disappoint them. I will still keep doing it until we get to that promised land.
Senator Adamawa Adeleke, it's not a day to talk about policy and governance. We just want to touch base with you, get a feeler of how things are with you, especially with the appeal court judgment. We do need to find time, maybe after all this is settled, talk about the people of Osun State and what is in for them in the Senator Adamawa Adeleke's administration. Well, congratulations again, and thank you so much indeed for talking to us.
Thank you, Joe. It's good to see you, okay?
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Yeah.
Have a good day.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah. Let's switch gears now and talk about, again, another case. The Supreme Court has reaffirmed Mr. Adeleke Njoku as the national chairman of the All Progressives Grand Alliance, APGA. The Apex Court made the pronouncement in a judgment on an application by Mr. Njoku, where he saw the regularization of the amended judgment read by Justice Mary Adeleke, delivered on the 9th of May 2022. Mr. Njoku's motion also followed a letter of the Supreme Court to him on the 19th of January 2023, wherein the Apex Court had addressed him as the national chairman of APGA and advised him to approach the court by way of a motion to correct the slip. The accidental slip, which was corrected by the Supreme Court, has restored Njoku as the actual national chairman of the party that was wrongfully removed by a Jigawa High Court. But interesting thing is this. Despite the ruling of the Supreme Court today, Chief Victor Oye, who is a party in this matter, believes that the true position of things is not that the court restates Mr. Njoku as the national chairman of APGA. Well, where is this confusion coming from? Let's get to hear from the two sides tonight. I'm being joined tonight by Mr. Adeleke Njoku. Thank you so much for joining us tonight on the program.
Chigu, thank you very much. Chief Adeleke Njoku.
You are a chief.
My
too.
people will be shouting their place here. You're calling me Mr. Chief. But it doesn't really matter about
All right.
Chief Adeleke.
Chief Adeleke Njoku, thank you so much. Appreciate it. I hope I pronounce it Njoku.
You pronounce it too well.
Okay, thank you.
You must have had a few Njokus around.
So, what exactly is the true state of things? I mean, a lot of people will be wondering, what really caused this rift between yourself and Chief Victor Oye?
Well, let me just go back very briefly, make it in 1 minute. I'm so happy that Channels was the first program, your program in 2019, who split the screen, put two conventions, one in Owerri and one in Oka. Our party, APGA, is a party that's not an Anambra party. But because it did well in Anambra, there are people in Anambra always felt that it was there. You know, everything had to be done in Anambra. If a convention is not done in Anambra, it hasn't started. If the national chairman is not from Anambra, it hasn't started. But the party, those who really started the party, were not really from Anambra. We cohabited with everyone and did it. So there has been some sort of something. And the party agreed that we're going to do our conventions outside Anambra. Cutting a long story short, at the end of the day, the party did their convention in Imo State, and I emerged. The first state, I've never taken Oye to court.
Although that convention is being disputed.
By who?
If you ask Chief Oye, he will say...
Please. A Supreme Court has just sat down and told Nigerians to delete his name, even from your phone record. Delete anywhere Oye is written as that. Delete it. And it's still... So why would he not...
Is that the true position of the Supreme Court?
The Supreme Court said that his name should be deleted as the national chairman of APGA. What happened to them? You know, channels have never really carried me before. I saw your correspondent, and I asked her, I said, were you in court? She said, yes. I went like this. If you were in court, did you hear what I heard? She said she heard it. All these things going on, channels is because she was there. Because Oye would have come and said another story, and it would be, is it true, is it not true? She was there. She heard it. And the true position is coming out on Monday. His name should be deleted from that page 13 as the national chairman of APGA. Not removed, but deleted. And Chief Edozie Njoku's name should go in as the national chairman of APGA.
Was that the prayer that went to the court, the motion that went to court today? Because
I went to court.
So what was your prayer to the Supreme Court?
Prayer was that there was a mistake that was made. I was the chairman of the party who was removed. I was the national chairman that was removed.
After Victor Ume?
Yes, I was the chairman that was put in Owerri. That Victor went and took me to court in FCT court. When I was now winning, he withdrew the case. And when he withdrew the case from FCT court had an order of court on me to stopping myself from being recognized as APGA chairman and stopping APGA from recognizing me. But he withdrew the case. So that's a long thing that has come. The bottom line was at the end of the day, the national chairman that was... And if you remember, on this your show, Umoji came on as the candidate for a while when a deputy of mine removed me. You brought in one guy called Hot Stepper, and you were talking about it. I was not brought in on that program. But it was brought in because I was suspended as national chairman in Jigawa. And then Umoji Judo Keke then now brought in Umoji's name. And INEC took it instantly. INEC accepted the name. You remember Umoji was?
Umoji, yeah.
As he said, my deputy suspended me, and my deputy took over and brought the name.
What do you think, politically speaking, I've gone away from the legal realm. Politically, what is happening in your party? But because you are far away from where the real activities are happening.
No, I was the first to don't say that, Sheikh. Yeah.
No, the reason why I'm asking... No. You should have wondered why I'm the premise to this. The premise is that in your party's... primaries, national presidential primary. I didn't see you there.
Why are you saying that I had a president? We were the ones. You see, that's why I said the Sheikh.
No, I'm asking you a question.
Well, let me explain something.
And you are here to clarify to give your own side of things.
Let me explain to you black and white. Even if Oye them, or Obia not them, or Solu them have all the money and they do all the things, the facts are facts. I came out of the Owerri Convention, which has been acknowledged by courts and all over the place. We did all our primaries, and Chief Chekwa Okore emerged as my presidential candidate. But because we look smaller and there's a governor who come and...
But you were not recognized by INEC.
Sir, with all due respect, yes, I know with that, but I agree with you. And that was why we went on a court case against INEC then, on mandamus against them. And even if INEC were saying that they're wrong, the INEC doesn't recognize, doesn't mean that the wrong has been made right, is it? INEC, like the Supreme Court has said, let's assume now that INEC doesn't see wrong. Does it make it right? Does it make it right?
But well, the only reason why, we will recognize the former judge is as a presidential candidate because INEC has recognized. And also, the only governor of your party... Let me land on my question. Let me land on my question. No. The question is, the only governor of your party is working closely with Chief Victor Oye. So that's why I'm asking, that you are far away from the activities of things.
Please, Sheikh, what I would like you from today to acknowledge is that we as Nigerians must run away from where a governor is working with. It's a democracy. Let's focus on where right is right. That the governor does not like the back of the way my mouth is bent or whatever doesn't mean I'm no longer...
So that's why I'm asking, why? What is the reason?
The reasons are that the Supreme Court has now told everybody, including you, to delete delete whatever reasons they don't want to know. That's the highest court. I heard you speaking to the phone, telling him that they are soon going to Supreme Court. Is it when they go to Supreme Court, someone will say, no. Supreme Court has what? My brother, spoken.
So where do you go from here?
There's nowhere. Supreme Court has spoken. By Monday, the thing will be released. He said they should delete. That is, and my sister came from us said this, delete hashtag or hashtag delete. That's the thing. Delete Oye's name from any relevant.
The reason why I'm asking is that if there is a structure that, according to you, the Supreme Court has displaced, the party is there for you to run. Isn't that the reason why you want to be the national chairman?
No, let me give you an information. When Oye took me to court in the FCT court, APGA had a counter-claim against Oye, telling him he wasn't a national chairman. Oye now withdrew from that court and said he's settling with me. In FCT court, read about it. He withdrew. And there's still a counterclaim of the party on Oye. Those notwithstanding, Supreme Court has come out and now said Chief Edozie Njoku's removal is not justifiable.
Are you willing to allow
said
truce?
Am I not the one on your program who told Solu that we need to sit down and start talking? Supreme Court, the same thing you were saying to the governor that they are going, no, they've not gone. I have gone and won, and we're still talking about it. I won in Supreme Court. That is over.
How do you move the party forward from here?
The party is already structured. Everything is happening already. We are moving. We're moving forward. We are moving forward. Don't worry. The important thing.
If you see Chief Victor Oye now, what would you do?
They said he's coming in there. I said, I'm going to beg him to stay. Let us build back the party. But one thing you must remember is that let's stop being recalcitrant and stubborn, including press people. Supreme Court has spoken. No more. Whatever Oye says is not important.
Don't drag us to your problems.
No.
Politicians, you guys have your problems.
No.
I would disagree with you.
Shego, we don't have a Supreme Court has spoken. We don't have a problem
Whatever
anymore.
Supreme Court says
it's final.
Supreme.
It's final.
And we will take it. And that's what I'm saying. But if you politicians have your problem, deal with your problem.
We're going to deal with
it. Don't blame the media for it.
We're not blaming.
It is your problem.
Stop telling me about that Oye said. Oye can't speak again.
He can speak. That's what democracy is.
But Shegu.
And you don't like his voice doesn't mean that
I love Oye. No, don't put that into my own. I love Oye. Oye, where are you? I love you. But Supreme Court has spoken. I am the national chairman of the party. Let us calm down. Shegu, calm down. I resolve this thing on the basis that I'm the national chairman. Supreme Court has what? As what?
Are you reaching out to the likes of
I've reached out to all of them. On your own TV, I told Tolu, and people are saying, no, why do I want to reconcile? I said, he is the only governor we have. I must be talking with him.
Chief Edozie Njoku, thank you so much indeed for your time tonight. I appreciate for coming. I appreciate it. We hope to see more of you now that the Supreme Court. But I mean, I wish to see the papers also to be able to. If you have the copies,
on Monday I'll make sure you have one of the copies.
Thank you so much.
And he said his name is what? Deleted. His name has been deleted.
Thank you so much.
Deleted. Thank you very much.
Well, this is the fun thing, a very interesting also side of democracy. I mean, as much as the other party's voice does not sound good to you, doesn't mean that they cannot speak. They have the right to speak. And we must allow the voice of dissent in this country if we need to move forward. That's democracy. Well, we'll take a break, and Chief Victor Oye will be joining us, and we'll be hearing from him. Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with us right here on the program. It's Politics Today on Channels Television. Let's go talking, and we've heard from Chief Edozie Njoku. Tonight, let's get to hear from Chief Victor Oye, who joins us live. Thank you so much, and it's good to see you again, Chief Victor Oye. What is going on? Because when I spoke with you earlier on, before I spoke with Chief Njoku, it does look like there is a different interpretation of what happened today in court. What's your own interpretation?
The thing is very clear. What happened today was not ambiguous. Number one, there was no judgment by the Supreme Court.
Was a ruling of the court?
There are two different things. The judgment of the Supreme Court was given on October 14, 2021. And the Supreme Court said today that everything we've done here dates back to October 14, 2021. They corrected a clerical error, which I have here, on page 13. We state, it needs to be stated at this point that the dispute being who should be the acting national chairman of the first responder, APGA, and whether the chairman, Chief Victor Oye, was validly replaced within the confines of the internal affairs of the first responder, which is not justiciable. Are you listening to me?
Absolutely.
Now, this was the Court of Appeal, Kano, giving the background story about the judgment of Birnin Kudu High Court. I was not a party to that suit. And in that court at Birnin Kudu, it was Edozie Njoku's name that was supposed to appear on page 13 here because I was not at Birnin Kudu. I was not an acting chairman, national chairman. I hope you're getting it. I am the national chairman of the party till tomorrow. Having corrected that clerical error, everything about the judgment of the Supreme Court remains. And if you look here, it's very clear. Between Jude Okeke, All Progress Grand Alliance, Chief Victor Ikoye, Alhaji Rabiu Garbalio, and Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. They didn't change this. It's still the same thing. Now, there was a judgment and enrolled order of the Supreme Court. This is the enrolled order. All Progressive Grand Alliance, Chief Victor Ikoye, Alhaji Rabiu Garba, Independent. There was no Njoku here. And what was the order of the courts? Supreme Court. One, it is ordered that this appeal be and is hereby dismissed. And when something is dismissed, it's dead and can never come back to life.
So what point was dismissed? What was the judgment of the appeal court that was dismissed in this sense?
Birinin Kudu.
What did it say?
No, the judgment of Birinin Kudu was a washout. The court of Supreme Court of Appeal Kano made it clear that everything that was done at Birinin Kudu was null and void. So it never existed at all. So we should go back to status quo antebellum. Very simple now. Now, at the Court of Appeal Kano, that was when I applied to be joined. Because they went to Birinin Kudu without involving me, because I am the key person in the whole thing. And that is why this man called the Dozen Joke is afraid. He knows I'm the one. There was no national convention in Owerri. You should have asked him, did INEC witness the so-called national convention? He couldn't have answered it. My national convention was held on the 31st of May, 2019 at Oka, attended by 787,756 persons. Are you listening to me?
I'm listening to you. Go ahead, please.
Members of APGA from across Nigeria. Who attended his own convention in Owerri? Where was the governor, the national leader of the party? Did he attend his own convention? Very simple thing. There was no convention in Owerri at all.
So he said earlier on this program that the court has said that your name should be deleted.
On page 13. And you're not getting the thing now.
No. I want you to. It is not me alone that you're speaking to. You are speaking to millions of
My name should be deleted on page
watching.
13 because I was not at Birinin Kudu. It's a very simple thing. That's what I'm trying to explain to you. I wasn't at Birinin Kudu. They circumvented the process. That was why the Court of Appeal set aside the judgment of Birinin Kudu High Court, because it was a kangaroo judgment. They left where the event took place, and without territorial jurisdiction, they went to Birinin Kudu. They left Okao, left Abuja, and went to 971 kilometers away from where the National Convention took place to obtain a kangaroo judgment, which was set aside by the Court of Appeal, Kano. Then Jude Okeke took us to Supreme Court. At that Supreme Court, the judgment of Birinin Kudu was dismissed, while the judgment of the Court of Appeal was affirmed. And the judgment of the Court of Appeal was very simple, that they affirmed the judgment of Kano Court of Appeal. And what was the judgment? That the Anambra High Court, sitting in Oka, has validated the National Convention of APGA, which produced me as national chairman. It's as simple as ABC. And no other court has given any contrary judgment anywhere in the world. That judgment stands.
So it's sad that today we do not have the judgment or the position of the Supreme Court, the ruling that was done today, and hoping that maybe Monday we might be able to have it. But give us an understanding of why this persists. Why would there be a different perception or consideration or interpretation of the position of the Supreme Court?
That's what I want you to understand. Listen to the orders of the courts, October 14th. The Supreme Court doesn't change its judgment. You're not getting it. That's why there was no judgment today. It was a ruling on that page 13. Nothing more happened today.
We understand that the Supreme Court sat today to correct the errors that was earlier read in the judgment that was read by Justice Adeleke in 2022.
Which is page 13, nothing else. Nothing changed the judgment. The judgment is still there. By the Court of Appeal, Kano. That was what the judgment affirmed.
Let me hear from you. So who is the national chairman?
And the national chairman is not disputable now. Because here it says that the decision of the Court of Appeal below is hereby affirmed. Which judgment of the Court of Appeal, Kano? And that all the applications for joining that having been overtaken by events are hereby struck out, including Edozie Njoko's application to be joined at the Supreme Court. He was not joined.
He said clearly that he was not part of that.
So how can he benefit from a judgment he was not a part of?
He said that he was suspended at the time by his own deputy.
That issue had been destroyed by the Court of Appeal, Kano. The judgment of Benin could have been destroyed. And Edozie Njoko had never been chairman of APGA, national chairman of APGA, at no point.
So you don't reckon. He said that there was a Congress or an election in Owerri. You say that did not happen.
Are you not aware of? Ask INEC. INEC is there. INEC is like central bank, isn't it? If you have any problem, go to INEC and find out who is the national chairman of APGA. It's very clear.
Chief Oye, what do you think is the underlying issue? Because in all of this, the legal issue is just what we're seeing in the surface. The political undertone is a real matter. What is the true political issue here? Can you tell Nigerians tonight?
There's no political issue other than Edozie Njoko. Just, remember he's facing a criminal charge at the Buhari High Court for forging the judgment of the Supreme Court. Remember that before this page 13 was amended today, he had already amended it by himself without the order of court. He went and enrolled the judgment of the Supreme Court and started parading it all over Nigeria. Are you not aware of that?
Mm-hmm.
This man should be arrested by the police. He's facing a criminal charge at Buhari High Court, which he has not come out of. And he's using this one to hoodwink the people. He's already calling people to bring money to him. And asking all the members of APGA who had already gotten their certificates of return from INEC to come and see him before it is
But that's
too
an
late.
allegation that you...
I'm telling you now, our members have been calling now.
That he's doing what?
Yes, he's asking them to come and return their certificates of return.
Just today?
Yes.
So
that
now,
they have until tomorrow to do that before it becomes too late. Does he have that kind of power? Who is he? This man does not exist, for goodness sake. He doesn't exist.
Where is this coming from? I mean, look, before you became chairman of APGA, and I've moderated programs dating back to when the first time that Chief Victor Ume was chairman of APGA.
Yeah.
In fact, there was a time that it was popular out there. There was the APGA PDP, APGA ACN, APGA this, APGA that. APGA was fragmented into about 4 different units at that time. Why is this keep happening?
It's because
this
of
leadership tussle in your party.
It's because of greed. You see, this Edozie Njoko that just appeared now. It doesn't have any locus to appear here and be addressed at anything. It does not exist. I mean it. I'm telling you that. Go to INEC. Ask INEC. Did you monitor this the so-called convention in Owerri? There was no convention in Owerri. The only convention held by INEC was held at Oka, where I was produced as the national chairman, and nothing has vitiated that fact. Till tomorrow. The man is just trying to bamboozle people. He doesn't have any fact, because the judgment of the Supreme Court remains. Nothing has changed it. The substance, the substratum, the substance of the judgment has not changed. That's what I want you to understand. The Court of Appeal, Kano, gave a judgment 108 pages. Is it what you sit here and they destroy just like that? It doesn't happen.
So with what is happening, what is your next move? If there is a dispute over what is happening today, definitely if someone is still claiming after what happened today in court that you are not the national chairman of the party, how do you handle it?
It's a very simple thing now, because the man you are talking about, remember that what he filed an appeal. He filed as an interested party. Look at it here. At the Supreme Court. And it was dismissed. That's what I want you to understand. It was dismissed totally. And the man is owing us 1 million naira, which he has not paid. Judgment of the Supreme Court. To pay us 1 million naira as damage. He has not paid it to me. He's still owing me 1 million naira. Then he took us to court. This time Edozie Njoku took us to court. Court of Appeal. See you. Court of Appeal, Abuja. Edozie Njoku versus APGA. Barrister Ezeokenwe is our national legal advisor. He took us to court. And the judgment, his appeal was dismissed. Look at it. Dismissed by the Court of Appeal. He abandoned this one. He did not appeal against it. And ran to apply for joinder at the Supreme Court, which was struck out. The man doesn't have any locus. His name is not even on the cost list. So it does not exist. So asking me for the way around the matter, there is nothing anywhere around the matter. Everything remains the same. Back to status quo ante bellum. Nothing has changed. Removing my name from page 13 of the judgment does not change the substance of the judgment. That's what I want you to understand. 108 pages. Have you read the judgment of the Court of Appeal, Kano? 108 pages. Then the Supreme Court said, page 13, remove my name there and put Edozie Njoku to reflect the background story told by the Court of Appeal in relation to the judgment of the Birnin Kudu High Court. That was where his name came up. So he now banked on it and started making noise that they should correct it. Once he corrects it, he becomes the national chairman of the party. It's not true.
Chief Oye, beyond all of this legal tussle, you have a party to run. At least that is the common denominator for both of you. And in this matter, what is the way forward? Because when this leadership tussle continues to go on, there is an unrest within the party. How do you hope to handle it? Is peace a factor that you are considering within your party, and how do you hope to pursue that?
There is peace in our party. There's no problem. I'm being very frank with you. The office in Abuja, the first political party in Nigeria to buy an office in Abuja, was bought by me. And I'm building a 5-story structure at Oka as a regional headquarters of the party. That's where we are. We're moving forward. We're not looking at the shenanigans of this man. I heard him when he talked about the Anambra party. What's the meaning of that? He said Anambra party. That was why he went to Owerri to conduct a national convention without the backing of INEC. And how many people attended his national convention? His national convention was held in a hotel room at Concord Hotel, Owerri. Put me anywhere. The facts are there. But our own convention at Oka was attended by 7,700 members from all over the country, monitored by INEC, led by a national commissioner, Professor Anthony Simbine, and 6 other directors from Abuja to monitor our, and they wrote a report. When police wrote INEC, because we had to take the matter to court, so we had to take the matter to the Inspector General of Police to complain about the meddlesomeness of Edozie Njoku, and that he was parading fake judgment of the Supreme Court. The Inspector General minuted it to the Force CID. Wrote them a letter that Victor is the national chairman. Now, Supreme Court, FCID, now wrote the Supreme Court. Who is the national chairman of APGA? The Chief Registrar of Supreme Court now wrote the police, the Inspector General of Police, that Victor is the national chairman of the party.
Yeah, I'm due to go for a break, but just in about 1 minute or less, as you've still not answered my question, Chief Oye, about the way forward for your party.
The way forward does not exist. I'm being very frank with you. It does not exist. And what the Supreme Court said today, there was no judgment. He said judgment. I hadn't talked about it. Was there a judgment at the Supreme Court today? There was none. What the Supreme Court gave today was a ruling to correct a clerical error on page 13 of the judgment of October 14, 2021. That was all, nothing else.
Give me a moment. Let's go. Let's take a break. And when we come back, more conversation about these issues. Stay with me, everyone. We'll be right back. Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with us. For some reasons, to get clarity on this matter, I brought back Chief Edoze Njoku to join Chief Victor Oye so that we can get some clarity, because there are a few things that Chief Njoku said that Chief Oye disagree with. But now that we have both of you, thank you so much, gentlemen,
thank you very much
for coming tonight.
Thank you.
You heard what Chief Oye said, that you do not exist in the scheme of things within the party. How do you explain, in the first place, he is posited that there is no judgment? It was just a ruling of the Supreme Court today. What's your own position on that?
First of all, I'll thank you. This is the first time that any television station has taken it to bring two of us together to actually, for Nigerians to hear. The only thing I'll say was that in 2021, Chief Edoze Njoku was suspended as national chairman in Burunkudu. Someone called Chief Judo Okeke took over, and as he's taking over as acting chairman, INEC recognized him. The same INEC he was talking about that did not know me, nothing. Recognized him as my deputy because he suspended me as my deputy. Recognized him. And not just recognizing him, they took over.
Where did the Congress that brought you in as a national...
You know where? You feel... I told you when I came in today that on that same 31st, you had a split string. Go through your mouth. And you said, oh, where? Igbo, we'll hear more of this. Go back to your archives. You see it. Whatever he may say is in a room, you know, we'll always say, you know what you said about politics. But the most important thing was that INEC recognized Jude Okeke when he removed me and brought in Umoji as the governorship candidate of APGA of Anambra State, where they had to rush to the Court of Appeal and do whatever, while we had to settle it today in the Supreme Court. But Umoji was...
What was settled today in the Supreme Court?
What was settled was I was the one removed. You asked the question, but you didn't follow up on it. What was dismissed? It was my removal. I was removed in Jigawa as national chairman of the party. And when I was removed, my deputy took over and brought the candidate who was recognized by APGA in the 2021 elections.
All right, please go ahead, Chief Oye.
Please, I'm happy he's here. And he said it for the first time we're meeting. I've never met him.
Physically?
What do you mean? Me and Sally and Wiche, when we sat down, do you know what do you mean?
I've never met you. We've never met like this.
We've met one-on-one, my friend.
Don't call me your friend. I'm not your friend.
Sorry.
Now, let me make a point. Ask him, he's here. Who witnessed your national convention in Owerri?
Are we here for that? I'm saying to you that...
Answer the question.
I'm saying to you that when my deputy... Stop pointing at me.
No. Did INEC witness... That's a simple question now. Did INEC witness your national convention?
When my deputy was recognized... When my deputy was recognized...
Who recognized him?
INEC now, I gave Umoji.
INEC did not recognize anything.
Did Umoji? Was Umoji not the candidate? Was Umoji not the candidate?
Gentlemen, let's take one after the other.
Very carefully.
So go ahead, Chief Oye.
He talked about his deputy. Which deputy? What happened was on June 15, 2021, some people gathered at Boating Hotel, Adeleke area 7, sorry. And they held a sham neck meeting, aired live by AIT, live. And I was watching, I said, according to the Constitution of APGA, Article 13, no national convention will hold without the national chairman giving the notice. Even the meetings of NWC, meetings of NEC, national convention, according to our constitution, must be issued by the national chairman, who issued the notice for the so-called NEC meeting that removed him, according to him. Who issued it? It was not issued by me, so it was a kangaroo thing. So they just railroaded it and took it to Birnin Kudu. They left Oka so that they will bamboozle everybody. They went secretly, without even his knowledge, because he was not in the picture. They went to Birnin Kudu and perfected it. He was not there. I was not there.
I removed two.
Wait now, allow me to talk now. They went to Birnin Kudu and issued and got a judgment. It was not a part of the
judgment. I removed two.
I was not a part of
the
judgment.
Removed two.
Allow me to talk, gentleman.
Thank you.
And I was not in Birnin Kudu. It was a kangaroo thing. So when we got wind of it, we went to Court of Appeal, Kano, to seek redress. I applied to be joined. He too applied to be joined. They dismissed his joinder and upheld my own joinder.
And said what at the end? That I ought to have been joined as the national chairman.
Wait now.
Well, did they say that or not? Did they say that or not?
No, they didn't say that.
Whoa. Page 78.
Oh, wait. They now took the matter. Allow me to talk. This man doesn't want me to talk.
Go ahead. You have the floor now. Because
allow me to
talk. Talk to him.
So we now I went to Kano Court of Appeal to seek redress. I applied to be joined. I was joined. And the case was determined in my favor. 108 pages, judgment. This man and Jude Okeke, up to today, I've never seen Jude Okeke with my naked eyes. All these things were shambolic arrangements, or everything. Jude Okeke does not exist. According to our records, Jude Okeke died in 2017.
You said I don't exist as well now. I'm sitting here.
2017. Have you ever seen Jude Okeke? They arranged all these things to continue to create confusion, including this man. He went to the Supreme Court. He applied to be joined at Supreme Court. At the Supreme Court, his joinder was dismissed. Look at what we filed. This man went to Supreme Court. What is why you ask him? He's sitting here. This amendment, that the so-called correction that Supreme Court did today on page 30, that was all the Supreme Court did, nothing more. It did not affect the substance of the judgment.
So let me allow him to.
Please,
INEC, just a moment, did INEC monitor your convention? Or your Congress?
Okay, go on. After your
No, I'm asking.
No, have you finished asking then?
Yes, I've asked.
Convention.
Yeah.
Conventions. INEC monitored our congresses and our convention. However, but the point I'm trying to make... No, wait.
Do you have the
wait now.
No, you're lying.
You have finished your...
No, you're lying.
How can you say I'm lying?
No, say it here. Do you have the report?
Can I finish?
No, do you have the report? Answer the question.
Let him go ahead. Please go ahead.
After our convention,
this country
he ran away to the Jabi High Court to get an order of court. An order stopping me from recognizing myself and stopping INEC, stopping the party from recognizing me as national chairman. At the point of judgment, he rushed back with his lawyers to say he's withdrawing.
At the Jabi?
At Jabi High Court. Please, let me finish. Oga, let me finish. And ran back. Not also knowing that the party had an order saying that I am the national chairman. But all that notwithstanding, going back to what we're talking about at the Supreme Court today, because he keeps bringing on, how can you be talking about Court of Appeal when we are talking about Supreme Court?
That was what
Let me finish now.
So because
let me finish. There was no judgment by the Supreme Court.
Let me finish.
We need to wrap up quickly. And on this note, let me ask you, what was the position of the Supreme Court from your own interpretation today?
The position of the Supreme Court is that the chairman that was removed, there was an order of court that was made that he relied on, which said that his removal, on that page 13, he has there, I've seen him having it, saying that the removal of Chief Victor Oye is not justiciable.
No, there is a removal. I have it here. It needs to be stated at this point that the dispute being who should be the acting national chairman. I've never been acting national chairman.
No, he's not talking about it. He's talking about...
Here now.
Wait, let me explain it to you.
No, that's what
dispute.
It cannot explain
Wait, Shegu, let me explain to you. The dispute of this case was a claimant that said they were my South, me removing me was a South, Deputy Chairman South and Deputy Chairman North. Wait now. Let me finish now.
You can't finish. Who removed you?
Well, let me finish now.
Who removed you?
Let's take it one after the other so that we can get clarity. So please go ahead.
The Deputy Chairman North and the Deputy Chairman South came together to say that when they suspended me, one or the other will take over from me. And the court in Jigawa now said that Jude Okeke will take over from me and made some records. And then they rushed and brought in the name of Umoji. Me and him rushed to the Court of Appeal. When we got to the Supreme Court, Mary Odili stayed and said that there's no need for any joiner. That thing they did in Jigawa was a sham.
You said earlier that his name should be deleted. That's the
that page 13. Now, what she now wrote. And she wrote in the page 13. And could it be that? And then on that page 13, if you read it, they said that the position of that thing was that the two chairman North and South are disputing who should be the acting.
No, that's not the
Let me read it out. Bring it now. It says...
Read it.
Wait.
It's my paper.
It needs to be stated. Wait now.
It's my paper. Is it your paper?
I'll start from here today.
No, read. Don't touch it. Read from here.
It needs to be stated that at this point, the dispute being who should be the acting national chairman of the first responder APGA,
Yes.
which is between
and whether
which is between the two vice, which is between the two deputy chairman.
All right.
And whether the chairman, Chief Victor Oye, was validly replaced and within the confines of the internal affairs of the first response. That within that chairman.
Was there any deleting?
They now deleted the automatic deletion of Victor
The way the man is acting, it's a crazy thing.
So let's go. Who is the national chairman of APGA?
Who else now?
No, say it.
This man does not exist, though. This man does not exist.
So, gentlemen,
ask him. He does not answer this. Did you have a report from INEC that monitored your so-called convention? Ask him.
I've already answered you.
Do you have it?
Yes, now.
This man.
How can we go to court without
it?
Gentlemen, we need to go now.
This man should be arrested by the police.
Why are you pointing at me?
I'm being very frank with you.
Because
you are doing with
he mentioned something earlier
you know,
that you are facing.
I'm ready for you.
Just remember, he said you're facing
They went and
criminal
reported
charge.
that this same judgment that they're talking about that was changed. He said I went and forged it.
Okay, ask him.
Wait. If it's not important,
ask him. Did you
how can I have amended that? And Supreme Court will allow me to come in.
Ask him.
Just a moment. He alleged that you have been asking members of the party to bring money to you.
This is just happened. I like the question. As this afternoon happened though, when did I do it now?
They are calling me.
This afternoon already. And I'm asking for
all our
so
just because them to bring their certificate to Abuja before tomorrow, before it becomes too late. This man sitting
What is the way forward? How do you resolve this?
The way forward is that if what he's doing is unprecedented, it can only happen in Nigeria.
What's your way
This man does not exist.
What I'm saying
it doesn't exist.
Let me answer you. He was the last national chairman of APGA. And he will always have a say in the party. But the thing is that you
are talking nonsense. What do you mean by the last national chairman? Who knows you? You don't even exist. You're nowhere.
Let him have his say so that we can close this.
He's the last national chairman of the party. APGA people should calm down. Let us bring
APGA people.
All right. Thank you, gentlemen. We need to go. Thank you so much indeed for coming tonight.
Thank you.
We'll take another break.
And thank you very much.
And when we return, Ms. Aishatu Binani, the APC governorship candidate in Adamawa, will be joining us. Stay with me, everyone. We'll be right back. Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with us right there on the program. Let's continue the conversation now. You know what is happening in Adamawa State in respect of the governorship election there. It is the poll is hanging because it's not concluded. INEC has said that election has been declared inconclusive. And joining me, perhaps we watch on the sister program on today's on Channels Television earlier, the governor of Adamawa State and the PDP candidate, Amado Fintiri. I'm now being joined by the APC governorship candidate in Adamawa State, Ms. Aishatu Ahmed, popularly called Aishatu Binani. Thank you so much indeed for coming tonight. You want to use the pen?
Thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate it. So, I mean, if you did not watch what the governor said earlier, and the PDP candidate, what is your own position on the inconclusiveness of that election?
Well, thank you very much. Good evening. And my position is that the INEC REC did very well by saying it's an inconclusive, declaring the result inconclusive. And my reasons are simple. The election, whoever sees or monitored the election of Adamawa State knows that the election was marred with violence, rigging, overvoting, and all sorts of manners of irregularities. So the figures that were deposed was really, to me, as far as I'm concerned, they were concocted figures, because some of the ballots, if one should really dig out, you'll find out that some of the beavers, I believe, if the beavers accredited only 10 people, you'll see that you'll find out that over 30 people must have voted. So that is part of irregularities. So the only way for the REC to come out clean is to declare that result inconclusive, because the commission have the powers that within 7 days to look at it, to review the declaration and return to review the declaration where the commission feels that the declaration was not made the declaration was made under duress, or where it is not made in compliance with the laws and regulations.
You understand the reason why INEC declared it inconclusive, because of the votes in that area and the margin of vote between you and the PDP candidate.
Yeah.
But you know the position of the PDP candidate. He says the REC was misled, and in fact the REC is inexperienced. But you have said that the REC did very well.
Yes, the RED did very well. He will say that the RED was misled because he wanted to be declared at all costs after rigging the election.
What do you mean by rigging?
Because it was a non-fact. Like in one of the local government, he was practically saying, led his cabinet to go to that location, to go to that local government and force the returning officers, the EO and what have you, to come up with a concocted result and declare that result.
I mean, you have,
under duress.
You have evidence of
yes, the returning officers are there. In fact, they were held hostage. They were held hostage to do that, and they had to run for their dear life. They had to run to a nearby police station, and they were there throughout the night. So with that kind of violence, how can any sensible REC declare the result, declare you winner? And not only that, in another local government called Som local government, about his commissioner, his cabinet commissioner, and the local government chairman, in collaboration with some of the security personnel, they had to beat up the returning officer or the collection officer. As I speak to you now, the guy is in the hospital. And they did what they wanted. They did all they desired to do. So the election virtually, that is just 2 local governments. If you take Mitika Madagali, if you look at the return of the votes this time around, it has never happened.
So, madam, I mean, if the election was declared inconclusive, it means that there will be a supplementary election.
Yes.
The governor says, I mean, and with the figures that have been released, it says he's way ahead of you, yeah. And the margin is wide. Yeah. What do you think could happen if there was a supplementary election?
I am saying that supplementary election, that was why I came back to Abuja. My lawyer wrote to INEC on the 22nd of this month, because the election was declared on the 20th. And INEC have 7 days to review, if at all the review is sought for by the candidate. So I wrote in a letter, my legal personnel put in a request that we need a review of about 16 local governments.
So you don't want to go to the field? You don't want to go back to the election?
Until after the review is done.
So you
until
want
after the review is carried out.
How many local governments?
16, because I am sure of that once this review is carried out, they will come out with those concocted figures by the governor and his alliance that make up that 400 and something. I believe they are concocted figures, and these figures, after the review, it will certainly come down.
You don't think that the election was free and fair?
It wasn't. No, he came up with all manners of rigging.
What about the figures you got? You don't think that those figures were correct?
Those figures,
the ones you got.
Let me tell you what happened. In some of the areas, a House of constituency member House of Assembly result was declared for the governor. That was what was uploaded for the governor. And so many instances.
Have you presented these instances to INEC?
Yes, yes. We even have videos to show that. And in some of these, and in some locations, like in some part of the locations, you see that the beavers were even bypassed. So that
you mean beavers was not used in some?
Yes.
In which areas are these?
most of the areas, most of the local government, like in Mitika, Madagali, Hong, so many. We have listed.
But you realize that according to the guidelines of INEC, no election can be conducted without the use of the beavers.
Yes, the beavers were there, but it was bypassed.
But do you have evidence of that?
Yes. We have our agents were there. In fact, some of the locations, no, the INEC ad hoc staff were not even there because the violence to which the governor has masterminded and wanted to unleash people on, so people had to run for their life. So let me ask you, madam,
should you go to the field for, a supplementary election? Are you afraid of that, of going against the governor in a supplementary election?
I'm never afraid, but all I'm asking is that let Independent National Electoral Commission please conduct a review on this said local government so that it will bring out the real figures for all the candidates. That's just all I'm asking. And as soon as that is done, we will be home and dry, and then we will be confident to go back to the field. That's just I'm asking.
You are running, you want to be governor. You realize that if you have your way and you become governor, you will be the very first woman to ever become governor in this country. You realize?
Inshallah.
How does that make you feel?
Great and happy, because I'm not doing this for Binad. I'm not doing this for myself. I'm doing it for every girl child in this country.
All right.
It's for all the women in Nigeria.
I pray that and wish that the best person wins for your state and the interest of your state and that of the country. Thank you so much, Ms. Aishatu Binani. Do try to come back whatever happens in that election. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
But that's our show for today, everyone. Many thanks for watching. I'll see you on Sunday at 8 p.m. I'm Sean Akimale. God bless Nigeria.